group, I'm thinking plus 13, second place plus 11, third place plus 9, fourth place plus 7, fifth place will be plus 5. I might go higher depending upon how close it is. Usually one group lags way behind, and usually there's a couple of groups that kind of battle it out, so we'll see. This is not everything that's going to be on the final, but this is the beginning of studying for it. In the next couple of days, I'm going to send you out questions that I'm going to remove. I'm going to send you out terms, bless you, that I'm going to remove. I'm going to send you out some articles that I will remove as well, but this is a really good start to make sure that you know things. And as we tell the stories on these List All You Cans, this is what I'm expecting on a short answer. So there's no excuses when you take the final. I'm not looking for 2-sentence answers. I'm looking for you to explain it to me. So if you happen to get one of these, you should knock it out of the park if it's an exam question. Since the first one is black up there, and just as when they turn black, we don't want to go back to those because they've already been used. So with this in mind, Tyrone, if you'll click that. Indirect and direct elections, first-hand IC. What are those? Go ahead, enthusiasm. I think Billy's got it next, but they're in the same group, aren't they? Yeah. Go ahead.
So indirect elections is when you vote for a party, or the voters vote for a party and the party chooses the candidates who win.
Where is this likely to be seen?
Well, that's here. Evans.
-1. It's not here.
My hand was up.
Yeah, but they got it wrong, so it's Gil's group.
So a lot of places in Europe, like Israel or England or stuff like that. And
then, a lot of places, yeah, they do. Go ahead.
All right, and then direct elections is when you choose, not the party, but you choose the candidate. You choose the person.
Voting for the person. And where do you typically find those? America. You typically find those in America. Go ahead, click it. Okay, go ahead, click it back again. Okay, click it. Don't touch the house. System where voters vote for party and then the party selects the parliament and the executive. Direct election, voters vote directly for the executive and the legislature or the parliament they want in office. So it's voting on the individual. Touch the house. Pick me a category, Gil's group. Anybody. Go.
Judiciary, 2 points.
Judiciary for 2. Judicial review. Okay, go ahead, Raphael.
Judicial review is a power that the judicial branch has of the government to make sure that laws that are unconstitutional are not passed.
Yeah, that are not passed. 5.
Not enforced.
Not enforced.
Are not allowed to proceed.
Not allowed to proceed. Click it, Jerome. Yeah, that was kind of awkward. The ability of courts to strike down or declare null or void laws passed by the legislature or unconstitutional acts by the executive. Pick me a category. Go, enthusiasm group.
Legislative for 3.
Legislature for 3. Separation of power versus fusion of power. Billy, but you'll have it next, Femi.
Separation of power is when there are 3, there are not necessarily 3, but there are separate branches of government that do not have anything to do with each other.
So in the United States, what are these 3 branches?
Judicial, executive, and legislative.
1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Tell me more.
Fusion of power exists in.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
It's fine. Just leave him and give it to the other person.
Yeah, you know what, Gil? That should be minus points for being honest. Actually, you know what I'm saying? Okay, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Go ahead.
Fusion of power exists in the parliamentary system, like in the United Kingdom.
Yeah.
Which is when there are. When there is sort of a blending of those powers in together. So, for example, the Prime Minister is the executive and the legislative.
The Prime Minister is a member of Parliament, but also the executive at the same time. Click it, Jerome. Separation of powers in the U.S. presidential system. You can only hold one office of government at a time, or like you said, the legislature is separated from the executive, is separated from the courts. In fusion, in parliamentary systems, you have to be in the parliament in order to serve in other areas of the government. You're holding more than one office simultaneously. Exactly. Go ahead, click it, Jerome. Enthusiasm's group, pick me a category.
Judiciary for 3 points.
Judiciary for 3. List all you can. Click it. Husband and wife. Y'all have it first. First-hand IC will have it next. We just talked about this. Husband and wife. Yeah, you got it.
This pertains to the article we just...
Yes. 5.
So if a husband and wife both
Tell me the story of the article.
Okay, the story of the article is that there was a husband and wife who were involved in a domestic abuse case.
Alleged the domestic dispute case. 1, 2, 3. The wife...
The wife called the police to come over a domestic abuse case of the first one that they had been reported to from that house. But then when the police got there, she claimed that they could do a drug search because there were drug stashes.
Okay, she called the police about a domestic dispute, but when they got there, she said, wait. He's got drugs in the back bedroom. You need to come get this.
But they were both listed as property owners, and he was there at the door when the cops arrived, and he did not give permission. She did give consent.
Okay, so here's where the court case comes in. 1, 2, 3. The wife calls the police and says, come in, search the home for drugs. The husband is there and says, no, don't search the home for drugs. What'd the police do?
The police went in there and obtained the drugs.
1, 2, 3.
Illegally obtained because they did not have a warrant to go search for the drugs, and the husband was present and did not give his consent.
They did not have a warrant, so they went in there thinking they were doing the right thing because they had her consent as a homeowner. He, as also a homeowner, said no. They did get the drugs. The husband ultimately sued, saying, you know what? I said no. You didn't have a warrant. You stepped on my rights. What'd the court say? Did the husband win or did the police win?
The husband won.
Go ahead, why?
Because they didn't have a warrant, and he was there, and he said that they could not enter.
Husband said they could not enter. If the husband wasn't there and the wife said enter, could the police do it?
Yes.
Yeah, they could. If the husband was there and sleeping, so the husband didn't say no, but the wife said come in, could they do it?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually they could in this instance. The trick was that you had husband and wife basically disagreeing, and in this instance they ruled in favor of the husband or the homeowner saying no. If there's an express prohibition, the police cannot go in. So ultimately he walked on the drug charges. Anything else you want to tell me? Anybody else want to say anything?
For that one? Or
Yes, for that one. Okay, go ahead, click it or touch it. Pick me a category. Go ahead, pick me a category. Was that judiciary for 3?
Yeah.
Do it one more time, because sometimes it doesn't always turn. One more time. Be thinking about what category you want. Okay, got it. Go ahead.
Political culture for 2.
Culture for 2. List all you can. Click it. The Aussie Bible. You'll have it next, Gil, but you've got it now. 5, 4,
Okay, so
3, 2.
I'm talking. Okay, so
Not yet.
in Australia they have this version of the Bible. They take the stories and they translate them into a sort of Australian slang version.
They are. They're translating this Bible into Australian slang. Go ahead.
This is a controversial issue because, for one, it takes the Bible and it sort of makes it sort of almost into a joke.
Okay, it's controversial and people are upset about this because it looks like it's poking fun at the Bible. What was their stated purpose? Why were they saying that they were doing this?
To make it more relevant to Australian
To
people.
make it more relevant so that Aussies would actually read it. Can you give me some examples of some of the quotes from this? 5, 4, go ahead.
It adds in like a dingo where there is. Or,
It adds in a dingo?
Yeah.
When they were talking about Adam and Eve.
Yeah, there's a.
Adam and Eve had a dingo? -2.
What?
We got
Anybody?
No, they changed the
Who?
name.
Go ahead, Gil,
All right,
yes.
so there was a Sheila who walked upon, I think it was.
Who was the Sheila?
The Sheila was Eve, and she walked.
-2.
How?
Sheila was married.
something about God.
She was married?
That's right.
Big Bang Bingo.
Anybody else? There's 3 other groups. Give me some quotes
Oh,
for
wait,
this.
wait.
You're already out. You missed. Quotes,
Oh,
yes.
I got some.
Give me some quotes.
Out of the blue, God knocked up the whole bang lot.
Out of the blue, this is the oversized group is now on the board. And this was supposed to represent in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Tell me more.
A dingo got my boy.
A dingo got my boy. Who was this about?
It was about. Who was about people? It was about.
5, 4, 3.
Dingo got my boy.
Dingo got my boy. I'll give you 1 on that. That was about Joseph. It makes reference to God is the shepherd. The Lord is my shepherd. I shall not want. God is the station manager, and He takes me down to the Lucerne Flat and feeds me there all week. Take a good look at that one. Go ahead. Touch it if you would. Oversized group. If y'all will pick me a category. Get into the game. You're in second place.
Executive 1.
Oh, that's big spender. List all you can. Go ahead, click it. Throne. Roles of the monarch. You have it first. They'll have it next, though. Roles of the monarch. What is it that the monarch does? 5.
They cut ribbons at official ceremonies.
Ceremonial functions. I will take it. Go.
They meet with foreign dignitaries.
Yeah, they do. What is that role otherwise known as?
Foreign, Diplomacy or.
There's a title for it. 5.
Assemblies. Oh, go.
4.
I was gonna say something different.
Go ahead.
Assemblies will loan money, but they want to say where the money goes. Like monarchs want money, but they also want control.
In a historic sense, I'll go there, but I'm probably not going to test you on that. 3. Go ahead, Natalie.
They can rule if no choice is made for a prime minister.
Yeah, they can. They can actually rule until a prime minister is selected by the parliament. That's a really good one. Anything else?
They're head of state.
Head of state is the title that I was looking for. Not head of government, but head of state. Ceremonial functions. They receive foreign leaders. This kind of thing. Anything you can give me from articles. 5. 4. Or anything else. 3. Go ahead for 2. You guys still have it?
That baby that was born in the airplane or whatever, and he couldn't.
Prince Albert.
Oh, yes.
From Monaco.
Yeah, from Monaco.
There's 6 of them.
And then
He fathered the
and
child.
he fathered the child, but they said that he couldn't take his.
If the
take
king
the-
has a firstborn
yeah,
son, in theory, the firstborn son is the number 1 to the throne, but the firstborn son was born out of wedlock.
The firstborn son
you.
typically has got to be
Sorry.
born in wedlock, and oftentimes it's specifically in the Constitution. Anything else you want to tell me? Caprice, zoom in on Saya. She looks completely disgusted right now. Anything else? 5. 4. Just keep it on her for a while. 3.
Prince
Go ahead.
Albert. Prince Albert couldn't really see the child, but would stay.
I think we're done with that one at this point. Anything else you can tell me about monarchs? 2. 1. Go ahead, enthusiasm. Your group's got it.
There was in South America when they were having trouble with like deciding anything, the monarch was supposed to be the like unbiased party that would give a
That was
like
Romania.
give advice.
I was going to say, yeah, not South America, but I'll go with that. Some people would argue that since monarchs have oftentimes been in office, a person, your example, your age, his entire life, they are above politics and they don't have power, but they have influence over things. And they can kind of shape what the people do. They can shape what the government does. Maybe even they can fire prime ministers or at least lead to the prime ministers being fired. Go ahead, zoom in on Saya again. Anything else you want to tell me? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go ahead. Go ahead, Ashley.
They reward medals to athletes, and then there was an article called "Is It Time to Bring Back Monarchy?"
What did that article deal with?
It dealt with the unseated royal family. Macy Lysiat said, blah. Its allegations of corruption have dodged nearly every government and personal tax.
What country was this?
This is Britain. No.
Britain.
UK.
-1.
Romania.
I think I forgot to mention in the rules, if you repeat something that somebody else has already said, it's minus points. Romania, -1. But you said Britain first, so it was -1 anyway. Anything from your group? These two. Take a look. Remember the Jordanian king that dressed up like a taxi driver? Make sure that you go back and look at some of those. You gotta be quick, though. The last correct answer came from the oversized group. Go ahead, pick me a category, oversized group.
No, it was us.
Was it them? Oh, okay. Go ahead and, yeah, that's right, it was.
Alright, what do we want?
Legislature. What do you want? Say Constitution. Constitution, 3 points.
Constitution for 3. List all you can. Click it. Death of a president. You have it. First hand I see's got it. You'll have it next.
So, in the United States Constitution, the way it works is that if the president dies, the vice president is the person that takes over.
Yeah.
There are also other circumstances in which that can
Have we
happen.
talked about this? -3.
Wait, what?
It's relevant to the.
You guys have it.
Are you talking about the movie Death of a President?
Am I talking about the movie Death of a President?
No.
-3. No. I am. Who's got it next? Saya's got it. Go. Go, Saya's group.
Somebody from overseas made a video or documentary or some type of film about President Bush being shot.
President Bush being shot and killed. Go ahead.
Yeah, shot and killed about, and it was very controversial because they made it before he was even before it even happened. So, they made the film a day before the event even happened, so it was really controversial because it was okay, so
was he president?
What?
Was he president?
Yeah, he was still in office.
First of all, 1, 2, 3, he was president. Second of all, just like you said, 1, 2, 3, they made this a year later than the day that it really was, so he still would have been president. What was the fear if you can make a move? And what